Good evening, and welcome to the program, A Pillar of the Community. And today we have a very exciting program for you viewers today. Very, very exciting. You guys are, going to enjoy this one. In this program today, we have two lawyers. One who's a real estate lawyer, Brother Muhammad Kashif, and we have another brother, Brother Arslan Hanif, who is a criminal lawyer. And in today's program, we're going to talk a little bit about, with them, we're going to talk a little bit about what it is to be a lawyer here in Canada. How do you become a lawyer? And what are some of the little hiccups that you have as lawyers and the good aspects of being a lawyer as well. So with that, I would like to welcome to the program, Brother Muhammad, welcome to the program, and Brother Arslan, welcome to the program.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having us here.
Okay, good. So, thank you guys for taking the time to join me in today's program, A Pillar of the Community. So let's start off with you, Brother Muhammad, and tell us a little bit about what it is or how can someone become a lawyer here, at least here in Canada.
So the process of being a lawyer in Canada is pretty simple. If you guys maybe heard of the name of National Committee of Accreditation, that's a institution. So they evaluate your degrees from back home. Let's say you are a lawyer in your back home and you want to pursue your career in Canada. So you have to go through the NCA, National Committee of Accreditation. They will evaluate your degrees, and then based on your academic record or the other thing, so they will give you few exams. Most likely based on your experience, you will get 5 to 7 exams. Some people, they do get 12 exams. You have to pass those exams. It's a self-study exam, so you will get your material from different private tutors, or maybe from your university, they do offer some programs over there. You can prepare yourself, and you can most likely, they give you 3 years to complete the whole process. It's your ability whether you can complete that process within 3 years or within a year. That's up to you. After passing those exams, then you are going for the bar exams for barristers and solicitors. For anyone who wants to know the process of being a lawyer in Canada, I will suggest to go and check the National Committee of Accreditation website. They have a beautiful picture over there, just like a tree. You can follow that process, and it's very easy.
Right. So tell me something. Do they accept any degrees, or is it that you must be a lawyer in your previous country?
You must be a lawyer. You must be a lawyer in the
LLB.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And that's and if you haven't studied, so you can't study engineering and
if you are not a lawyer, it's not like you are an engineer and you want to pursue your career in Canada as a lawyer. You cannot. You have to have a law degree.
Right. Okay, I see.
You must have a good numbers as well, good grades.
Right. Okay, I see. And of course, if you're studying to become a lawyer here in Canada, you basically go through the system by getting your law degree.
Yeah. So basically, they want you to make sure that you do know the basics of the Canadian law as well, like the Constitution. What is the Constitution? What are the ethics? How will you deal with the property and the business laws? All of them. Because some of the subjects maybe you will not study back home. Those are here. The constitutional law is the administrative law. They are right here. So they want you to know those steps. That if you are practicing, you should know those.
Good. That's great. That you can actually convert. Now, tell me something. One follow-up question on that is, on average, when people come from outside, and this program caters, it shows on Caribbean Showtime. So basically, there's a lot of people coming out of the Caribbean, and what they have is an LLB, and it's places like the University of the West Indies they're coming from. So I guess what they have to do is go to this accreditation site and check to see what it takes to become convert that basically.
You can assess yourself. So website gives you the option that you can assess whether you can become eligible for that program or not.
Right. Okay. Good. Well, that is good. Brother Arslan, I want to ask you. You are the criminal lawyer. Okay. Tell me a little bit about criminal law here in Canada. I mean, we're known for as a country that is I'm from Trinidad. the crime down there is horrendous, right?
Right off the bat, let me throw it at you. You don't see too many criminal lawyers smiling the way I'm smiling. It gets me at the end of the day, and I got a big smile on my face that I'm done with the day. I want to touch base with what Muhammad went over. He went over the lawyers, how to become a lawyer from if you're from back home from overseas. However, how do you become a lawyer here? A lot of our perhaps parents, their kids are becoming lawyers here, and they're always asking me, seeing me at a certain age, and they always have this question: well, how does my son or daughter, how can they become lawyer tomorrow? The process is somewhat similar to what Muhammad has said, but over there they're going to NCAs, going through the NCAs. After the NCAs, they're writing the bar exam. We all get to write the bar exam, all lawyers in Canada. If you're going to be a lawyer in Ontario, you have to write both of the exams, a barrister and solicitor, what Muhammad earlier on said. However, prior to that, what's the process? After your undergrad, you're going to do your undergrad. After the undergrad, you're going to write your LSAT to get into the law school. You do your 3 years of law school. After doing that, you become a lawyer. You write your barrister and solicitor, both exams. You pass both of those exams. After passing it, you're a lawyer in Canada. Now you could choose any field. You could be a criminal lawyer, corporate lawyer, real estate lawyer, whatever career you decide to pursue. And going back to your question as to life of a criminal lawyer, lot of long hours that you get to put, because every client, after watching the show that you had indicated earlier and just before the interview, Suits, you're not the first one to say that to me. They all expect the same service, unfortunately, from us.
That is what we judge lawyers by, that show called Suits.
And again, I mean, as a criminal defense lawyer, you have to be on top of your game, and you don't have a choice of saying, oops, I didn't give my 100%, or I was on vacation, or I slept over this case,
Right.
because your client will end up behind bars.
Right.
That could be for life, for 2 years, 10 years, or they'll get a criminal record. Whereas I am not saying Muhammad is going to jump in here. I'm not saying Muhammad's job is any easier. He's dealing with the, finances for people, or he's dealing with the real estate closings, which could be, at the end of the day, worth millions of dollars. And everyone is excited to get a new house. I would be, and if my lawyer didn't do the job that he's supposed to, I'd be angry. But again, those things could be rectified. If there's a mistake, it could be rectified.
What you're saying is that if somebody doesn't get through with Muhammad on his legal aspect as being a lawyer in real estate, and they do something, they're coming to you to be defended.
Yes, one way of putting it. Yes, yes.
I wish we had a life like a Suits lawyers, but their life is just like a fancy, but it's completely opposite. You have a lot of
glamorous
work.
Right. One question I have for you, gentlemen. I've seen the title attorney at law.
Right.
I've seen barrister. I've seen solicitor. What is the difference? Is there any difference?
So I go with that. So some countries, or they use the word attorney at law, or some they use advocate. Like back home in my country, we use the word advocate, not attorney at law. Over here, we use word barrister and solicitor. In UK, you can write one exam, barrister exam, and you can start practicing. You don't need to write 2 exams, barrister and solicitor. Over here in Canada, you have to write both of them. You have to pass both of them to practice as a lawyer. Barrister means when you get oath in a bar ceremony, the Superior Court of Justice, they take your oath. At that time, you are entitled to call yourself as a solicitor, means you can proceed or you can plead any matter before the court. So that's solicitor. You can solicit.
I see. Okay.
Barrister exam, we get that license from the law society. Solicitor oath, we get from the Superior Court of Justice.
Right. Okay.
It's just like the way they had designed the system or the process.
Right. Okay. Because in where I'm from, like in the Caribbean, when you're a barrister, you can practice basically as a solicitor. You can do some work, but you can't defend somebody in court, or you can't go to court. At least that was my understanding of it. I could be wrong.
The same understanding is right here.
Yeah.
For solicitor, you get the permission that you can defend someone in the court, or you can appear before the courts.
Court. Okay, good, good. All right, good. So that is at least one little piece that is cleared up. So take me through the life, gentlemen, of a lawyer. And Arslan, let's start Arslan, I get your name mixed up, sorry, but Arslan,
That's
let's
okay.
start with you as a criminal lawyer. What is your day like? I mean, again, comparing to that, there's a lot of things that in terms of research, and then you go to court, and then you see them jumping from one court to the next. Is your day similar to that?
Very similar to what you just described. As a criminal lawyer, look, life is glamorous. Life is good. I mean, I wouldn't want to do anything else in life. But again, you need to be passionate for you to be a criminal defense lawyer. Daily routine. If I'm to look at my day to day routine, you get up in the morning, you're getting ready for court, you're running to court, and the night before that, you're preparing. You started preparing a night before that for that very same matter, whatever matter you have in court, to make sure that you're attending that matter and you're attending and you're prepared for that matter. At the end of the day, whereas I'm comparing with Muhammad in real estate because I see him day to day, he's got different headaches per se, if I'm to put it, than I do. I'm in one court, I'm arguing on one, and we argue over this at times. I'm arguing on one matter, and that's what I'm prepared for. Whereas his life is running the office. Then after running the office, he's going to run to the bank to make sure that everything is matching. Whereas my life is basically all day in court, and at times we're in different courts, running in different courts. To answer you perhaps a little bit better, I get this question asked a lot. Well, how many hours is a criminal defense lawyer putting? And I do speak to other criminal defense lawyers that are working for firms, and these big firms, they're putting on average about 60 hours a week. As an independent sole practitioner or with a partnership, we don't have a big firm; it's a small firm. I'm putting around 70 to about 80 hours a week at times.
Wow.
You really need to be passionate, and
Right.
and the words that I used earlier, you can't afford to say to your clients, "Oops, I didn't do my job properly. I didn't give my 100%." That's not possible as a criminal defense lawyer.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't mean to scare the community. It's a great profession to be in. Yes, there are ups and downs. Yes, there are headaches. But at the same time, I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
Right. What about you, Mohammed? I mean, as you said, you do a lot of running around in a different
No,
way.
it was my dream, my friend.
Yes.
It was my dream since childhood. I was dreaming to be a lawyer.
A lawyer, but in
it
real
was my
estate,
dream.
in real estate, or you happen to fall into real estate?
I will tell you. So when I passed my bar exams, I saw a bird was flying in the sky, and I felt that that's me. It's free. I have nothing to worry, and I am free. But the very second day, I was sitting with my client, and I thought, oh, that's not the right thinking. I have a lot of responsibilities, lot of obligations. I have like timelines to meet. Your closing, you have your closing today. Your closing today is you are coming to my office today. Okay, I have a closing today. Everything has to be done today, and we have dealt with those closings. We were able to close those closings as well. But life is not as charm like the way you see in Suits. Sorry.
Right.
The program is good, but it's not that. But being a lawyer is an honorable profession. Wherever you go, you get the respect.
Right. Yes, of course.
And whenever I close a deal, like I am just giving you the lockbox code, or I am giving you the key. That's your key. Although you paid and everything, but I feel happy that I was the one who was able to help this gentleman or this person to close their first time. Most likely, we are the first time home buyers. So I am the one who is helping them to secure their first home.
Right.
That feel gives me really good feeling.
I guess what we're getting at is and I don't, our community, the young lawyers that are coming up, we don't want to mislead them. There are long hours that are put. Aside from that, law is a great profession to be in, but you really need to be passionate. If you're not passionate about law, you're not passionate about your work, it is going to be difficult. And hence, I think one of the reasons why they put you through the bar exams, I questioned it, and I questioned it even with Muhammad too. I said, look, I mean, this doesn't make sense to me. The bar exams are ridiculous. I just to give you a little background about it, I have 2 undergrads. I had written enough exams. I had gone through law school, and when I wrote the bar exams, it was the worst exams of my life. I wouldn't go back and write those exams even if you give me $1 million. I wouldn't even wish it on my worst enemy. So point is, why do they do that? Why does the Law Society do that to lawyers? Why the barrister and solicitor exam when they have gone through the law school, when their lawyers are here, or even if they were lawyers back home? They have done law school. The system is good. It's great. They have faith in their system. So why make people go through the bar exam? That was a question in my head when I was studying, because those are long hours that you're putting. And now it adds up. When I'm working on a case and I'm sitting there spending hours and hours, and at times I'm just started on a Friday evening, and I'm sitting there studying and going through and reading case laws after case laws for a case that I have on Monday. And before I know it, my Friday, Saturday, Sunday has gone over. I have no idea where the time has gone. So what happens? They prepared you while not just in law school, when you wrote those bar exams. When you wrote those exams, or barrister and solicitor, this is what they were doing. They were preparing you for this life that you're going to have ahead of yourself. Again, I don't mean to scare anybody. It is a great profession to be in.
And you have a beautiful life. I love it. Although I do say that there's a lot of stress, but I love it.
You love it. So tell me something. So you have criminal lawyer, you have real estate lawyer, you have corporate lawyers, you have, I don't know, what the whole list. What would you say would be the easiest of them all and the most difficult of them all? How would you? Let's start with you, Arslan. How would you rank it?
I would say my job is the hardest. Criminal defense lawyer is the hardest, and I'm sure Mohammed will say the same to you. So I wish if there was an easier answer. What it comes down to is, what is it that you're passionate about?
Right.
If it is something that you like, it won't be so difficult. At the end of the day, you would get up in the morning, and you won't treat it as a job. You would go there, and you would tell yourself you're there to make a change in someone's life, and then rightly so. As a criminal defense lawyer, when I fight a case, I win the case. I want to win every case, like every other criminal lawyer that you would meet. No one wants to lose any case, even if it doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
Yes, I've been asked questions. Hey, if you feel that ethically it's not right, or if you feel that the person has done it, yeah, I'm not going to take that case on. Perhaps it's going to be plea earlier, but if it's a trial, at the end of the day, you would want to win that trial.
Right.
And rightly so. So job is difficult, but at the same time, the reward is great when you finish, and that winning feeling when you walk out of that courtroom that you won a trial, nothing like it. Nothing could be compared.
Right. So how long does an average one of these cases take? 3 months, 6 months?
Depends on a case. If you're talking about, say, a simple assault, if it doesn't get resolved, if it goes to trial, you're looking at a trial date depending on the court that you're in as well. If it's a smaller town, you may get an earlier date. But since we're in GTA, and I could talk about Brampton or Toronto, our average time in Brampton is about 6 to 8 months. So it is in Toronto courts as well. That's your time period before you see trial. And then again, not every matter gets put to trial on the first date. You have your Crown pre-trials, then you have judicial pre-trials. That all, and the client has to retain the lawyer, and that all takes about 4 to 6 months to start with, and then you're setting a trial from there. And by the time you finish a trial, you're looking at about a year and a half.
Wow.
On average. That's if it's going to trial. And mind you, a lot of matters do get resolved. And if it gets resolved within 3-4 months, your matter is completed. We're talking about an assault or domestic assault or something of that nature. Again, if it's something more on with guns or drug or sexual assault or rape, those cases are more than likely they're ending up on a trial. And you're looking at some time before the matter or trial is going to be heard. Or, for instance, murder. You're going to have a preliminary inquiry, which is going to take about 6 months from now or 8 months from now. You're going to get that date. And then after that, you have to set a trial. So all this procedure does take time.
Wow.
It's time consuming.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to lose my train of thought. And I want to touch base for our community to benefit out of this. A lot of the domestic cases that come, unfortunately, do come out of our community. But it's a Muslim community. When I say Muslim, when I say our community, I mean immigrant community. It is, and I don't mean to pick on ladies per se. It is easier to pick up that phone and make that 911 call, but we don't foresee the consequences. A lot of the times we're sitting there, which I get all the time from my clients, or when I speak to their spouses on the other end, and they say, look, I thought it was just going to be slap on the wrist, that the police is going to come to my house and they're going to tell my husband, hey, help her with the dishes and do this for her, do that, and listen to her, and so on and so forth. I didn't think that it was going to be pushed this far. Now you have a husband who's paying not just one mortgage, he's paying the mortgage where the wife is living, and he's also paying rent where he's got a new house because he can't live with her until this matter is done. And going back to it, what I said earlier, it does take a while in court. Even if I'm to resolve it, you're looking at an average 3 to 4 months before the matter could be resolved. Now you have a husband with 2 kids or 3 kids at home, and wife is crying, calling me and calling the court saying, I want him back at home because I need to go to the doctor's appointments, or I don't work, I have kids, I was taking care of them, and I need him back at home. Now, the Crowns, when I speak to them, I said the resolution, she's willing to give an affidavit, she's willing to do this with the Crown. This is the answer that I get. Hey, they made that 911 call. They should have thought about it 3 times. And again, mind you, I'm not saying that you should not call 911. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying domestic abuse should not be reported. It should always be reported without a question, without a doubt, no questions, zero tolerance. It should be reported. But before reporting it, ask yourself that question, is this something that really happened, or am I just exaggerating it? By exaggerating it isn't going to get you, police isn't going to come over to the house. They're going to take one of you to the station. One of you is being charged since the police is there, more than likely.
Right.
So think twice, think hard when you go through this process. It is not easier. It is not cheap. Us lawyers, criminal defense lawyers, we're not cheap either. So it is costly, takes time. Husband cannot come back at home in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's not going to be slap on the wrist. He's gonna have to go through the process, and so is the spouse. She's gonna have to go through the whole process as well until this is completed.
Wow.
It's crucial for our communities to understand this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's and I hear what you're saying, that
Sure.
basically, you just need to think before you act, basically.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. Be careful. And that's right. So tell me something, gentlemen. You've given me a little bit of idea, and you've certainly given the viewers a lot in terms of what it is to be a lawyer, and your day, like how it goes and the amount of hours you guys put in. But at the end of the day, there's also a great reward in terms of either helping somebody with their case, or by helping someone acquire a house. Tell me something. What characteristic traits would you say makes a good lawyer? So what I'm getting at is, we have people out there who are quiet and they don't like to read. They prefer to they're visual learners. They rather watch TV or watch a documentary or something rather than read about it. I mean, what would you say traits would take to be a lawyer? You gotta, I guess, you gotta like to read a lot. you gotta have your wits about you. I don't know. What would you say?
You need to be a hard worker. I think by the time you become a lawyer, you're used to it. By the time you become a lawyer, you're going to be so used to it. You're going to be used to reading. You just basically have no life at times, and your friends sort of take off on you when you're in law school. You're left with not too many friends with you, and at the end of the day, you're left with nothing but time, and you're reading. So you get used to it. I wouldn't say that you need to be, that person who talks too much, or a person who talks so much he's the only one who could be a lawyer. No. I wouldn't say that you need to read a lot, but it comes with the job. It comes with the profession. You have no choice. You want to make yourself better every day. Right. As a criminal defense lawyer, I need to be up to date on all the case laws that are out there, at least majority of them. If the Crown is talking about a case law, you should have an idea. Okay. On my case. So when you're working on a case, when you're preparing the case, say you're preparing an assault case for a trial, it took you about 8 to 10 months to go to trial on average. And when you're at trial stage, you have put in all that time, you have educated yourself, and imagine doing about 10, 20, and you become better at it over time. So hard work is the key. Hard work is important in every job, and even so more important as a lawyer.
Right. So, and Muhammad, tell us from your perspective, what do you think it takes to become a lawyer?
Hard work.
Hard work.
A lot of sleepless nights.
You don't have to be talkative.
No, you don't really need to be.
Yeah.
You just need to know the actual law.
All right.
You are just saying here and there, going here and there doesn't really take you anywhere. You need to
Okay.
know the law. To
Right.
know the law, you need to read. Like
Okay.
I taught like maybe more than 150 students. They are lawyers now. I was
Right.
teaching to bar students, and every time, so the first question that I was going, how do you know this? And I was telling them that I have read all these books maybe like 5 times, 10 times, 15 times. If I do recall, I have read my books maybe 17 times.
Okay.
So that's why I
Mm.
know. And I
Mm.
was spending, like when I was writing my exams, I was spending 18 to 19 hours in a day.
Wow. Yeah. So it takes a lot of hard work.
It
It
takes a lot of.
definitely takes a lot of hard work.
So I want to take on what Muhammad just said. And when you're spending that kind of time, when you're spending that kind of, when you're writing the bar exam, you're forced to spend that much time. You get used to it. So when you're
Right.
working on a case, when you have a case, you're not gonna have a hard time. So, but if you become a lawyer, when you become a lawyer, so whether you need to be that talkative person, that becomes secondary because you get
Okay.
used to it. You're in that environment. You've been trained
Right.
to do certain activities and certain run your life in a certain pattern, I guess.
I see. I see. So, gentlemen, we have about 5 more minutes before the program. So, I just want to get into our topic here. You both of you are Muslims. You both lawyers. There's a stigma out there about lawyers. They like to cheat and lie, and there's always this. They always put lawyers down. Tell me something. How do you balance that in terms of being lawyers and being Muslims in terms of dealing with those kind of things?
I'm happy. I'm glad that you asked that question. I'm glad that you asked this question. Look, being a lawyer doesn't mean that you're lying all the time. I always ask my clients, if my client comes around and when he's sitting across from me, I as a lawyer, I know what to ask them. And I right off the bat tell them, okay, tell me this. You don't need to go out of the way to telling me other things. So if my client tells me that he didn't kill that person, I think I have every right to defend that client.
Right.
There's no reason for me to lie. And above all that, you're defending the person. You're making the crown prove or the prosecutor prove their case beyond reasonable doubt. And
Right.
my job is a job of that watchdog who sits there to make sure that it is the law is upheld, and to make sure the rights of my client are not being abused, and to make sure that my client is getting the rights that he deserves, and the
Right.
justice is being done at the end of the day. So
Good.
you're not lying per se. You're not a liar. You're not making up stories in court. We as lawyers, we don't do that. We don't go to court and make up stories. If the client said, hey, this happened, we don't go and say, no, he wasn't in a blue room, he was in a dark black room. No, we don't do that.
Right. Right.
That's not how it is.
How it is. But of course, if somebody, they come to you and they're guilty and they ask you to defend them, I guess you have the right to refuse to defend them. Is
That's
that?
right.
Yeah.
That's right, and we do have the right to refuse service as well, depending on if it's something that I feel as a lawyer that I'm not going to be able to give my 100% in the case, and that's someone's life. It's a dependent on this case. At times, the person, and I've been being a criminal defense lawyer, I've been in practice for a number of years now. At times, the clients are not in the right state of mind. They would come and tell you certain things because that's what they think that has happened. But that may not have happened because their family members are telling them that this is how they are, this is how they were brought up, and they've been told so many times over the years, and they start believing in it, especially in a domestic abuse situation. And I don't sit there and judge them. I give them the benefit of the doubt, and I go to court and I defend them. Right? I try to fight the best way I can. Again, I don't sit there and say the room is blue or black. That's not my job. My job is to defend them in the before the court and make sure that the justice is done.
Right. What about you, Muhammad? I mean, in terms of balancing being a
No,
Muslim to what they could say that lawyers are.
as a lawyer, it's our job just to make sure that our clients' rights are being protected. That's all.
Right.
And we make sure that if, even though as per law, if we are aware that my client has committed a crime, so we have to be honest with them that you are, by telling me this, I won't be able to defend you.
Right.
And
Right.
that's our obligation as per the law society rules. And
Okay.
that's very close to Islam. That
Yeah.
if you do know that, you can't have.
Okay.
And we are only assisting the court just to make sure that our client is being treated by the court as per the law.
Okay.
We
Good.
are not the judge.
Good. So,
Thank you,
gentlemen, we're
Sir.
just about time. So, lastly, very last question here. Arslan, you are a criminal lawyer. If somebody needs to get in touch with you for your services, how do they do that?
They can go to my website. They could go statelawfirm.ca, or they can contact my office 905-369-0081. And if there are any new lawyers that are upcoming, young lawyers, we have no issues. We help out. Many of them are international lawyers. Muhammad is great here. He taught over the years, and would be happy to get on the phone and assist them any way we possibly can.
Good. And brother Muhammad, how would they contact you if they're looking for
We have the
services
same
in
number.
real
We have the
estate?
same number.
Yeah.
But they can also use my cell phone number if anyone wants to be a lawyer and they want to get some information from me. I am happy to help. And my number is 647-949-1786. That's my cell phone number. But most likely I am in the office, so office number is the one here Arslan told.
All right, gentlemen, that's it for today's program. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank both of you for taking the time to joining us here on A Pillar of the Community. Really appreciate it. You had some good insights as to what it is to be a lawyer. And that is not a profession for me, I can tell you that. So
I don't blame you.
so thank you guys very much. And, hopefully, I should say this, hopefully we are not in touch. At least you, Arslan. Muhammad,
Right?
maybe you.
Not too many people want to get in touch with me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, thanks a lot, gentlemen. Appreciate you being on the program. Well, my dear viewers, that was a program, really a lot of information on being a lawyer here in Canada, what it takes if you're coming from, let's say, the Caribbean, and you're coming with your LLB, maybe out of the University of the West Indies. Please contact Brother Muhammad. He can help you, walk you through the process in terms of converting your LLB into becoming a lawyer here in Canada. And of course, the both of them, they are from state law. It's called State Law Firm. And you'll see I'll put up their website on the screen. But please, if you are in need of their services, please reach out to them. So until the next time, thanks a lot for viewing A Pillar of the Community, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.